Hello, ladies, and welcome to today's Behind the Scenes. Today is a special couch talk. It's me and Lucia. Hello, ladies, and welcome to today's Behind the Scenes. Today we have a special couch talk. We are doing our Lousje and Bean story, a partnership female entrepreneurial business that has been very successful here in Niagara that we're so thankful for. Mother-daughter duo. In January will be our 20th year in business.
Party, big party.
Big party, ladies. Well, where do we begin to start our story?
Well, I think we would begin with, I am not trained as a designer. I did not have any education in it. I'm self-taught. I started with when I was little, when I had doll's clothes, I would cut off the sleeves and change things up because what I had was not what I liked. So I think that's where it started. Growing up in Amsterdam, my mother couldn't sew on a button, and my sisters didn't sew. So it was really a thing that you are born with, I think. That's the only reason only way I can explain it. And of course, with all the markets in the Netherlands, which the markets are fabrics,
Yeah.
fruit, vegetables, fish,
Yeah.
and flowers and fabrics.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was always at the markets and buying fabrics, and I had a little cranky sewing machine like this. And then very young, I fell in love, and there was no housing at the time. It was not shortly after the war, right? In the middle 60s. So we were sponsored by Canada to come because Canada was looking for people.
And you had an aunt and uncle here
And
that
I
were
had
in Hamilton.
Yes, and they
So-
sponsored us. So we went.
Yeah, when you were 19.
When I was 19, oh my God. I fell in love and lost my marbles.
When I was a
Oh,
child,
wow.
I do remember everything: drapes, tablecloths.
Lampshades.
We have lampshades. Everything was made by Lucia. She would boutique, she would dye, everything you can think of. So hence the creativity spilling over into my blood. But Lucia had a very successful business for 5 years in
Yes.
Port-Louis, which would
Right.
probably be the starting point of the designing world.
So
I was a very young girl, and Lucia had 4 children. I have 3 older brothers, and she was downtown Port-Louis, and the store was called Puro. Beautiful name.
yeah.
I remember she had a clown
With the tear.
with the tear,
That's my
black
logo.
with
Yeah, you
black and
remember.
white with a
Yeah.
little red.
Yeah.
Very classy. It's just so us, right? So
Yeah.
you, so us.
Yeah.
But here's a photo, ladies, of some of the fashion designs that Lucia had back then. So these are some of the models. And I've pointed out myself at one of the tables there, just as a little girl.
Yeah.
I have a big bow in my hair.
Yeah.
I was always being
Dressed
dressed up
up.
by my mother.
You've always wrapped a scarf you tied it in a big bow.
Yeah, I loved it from
Yeah.
day one.
We went to this really unique school, Maple Grove School. It was a little country school with 3 schoolrooms, and 2 classes were always merged together. And over the years, I've had women come to me that had our children went to school together, and they would say, "We always waited for you to come to school with Tessa because we couldn't wait to see what she
What
was
she was
dressed like
wearing."
and what you were dressed like because everything was, well, after that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how it started.
That is Bench Brewery now, ladies, in
Yes,
Niagara
yeah.
on Highway 8. That was Maple Grove.
Yeah.
And we all went there, and it was a very creative school. And I feel like there's a lot of successful Niagara entrepreneurs here that came
That
from
you are
there.
absolutely right.
It was a wonderful school.
Yeah.
So, but to get to Lousje and Bean, where it started, well, I started sewing my own clothing in high school.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times friends would ask to recreate it.
Yeah.
I remember going on a 2-month backpacking tour with my few
Yeah.
girlfriends, and my girlfriend Jill asked me to make skirts for her because that was our outfits, tank tops and skirts.
True. Long skirts.
Long
Yeah.
skirts. Oh my goodness. I should dig up some pictures of that. That will be another day. And then I went to Holland when I was in my early 20s, and I was an au pair for
Yeah.
a year.
With a family with 2 small children.
2 small children in Noord-Laren, which is in northern Holland, very close to Groningen.
Yeah.
I was an hour from Groningen by bike, and I would go every weekend to the market and buy fabrics, and they had a sewing machine there. And so I just started sewing. I called my mom every day.
Oh my God, Tessa.
More than once a day, lady.
More than once a day. I would see that number and I would think, oh, there she is again. But it was great.
Well, it was
Yeah.
wonderful. So
Yeah. You were a little homesick too.
I was a little homesick. I know.
Many times she said, I can't do this anymore. I want to come home.
I was
And said,
afraid what she
"No,
was
you
going to
have
say there. Well, I just, to be honest, at that age, I had already gone to college in Peterborough for travel and tourism because I always wanted to be in travel. I wanted to be a flight attendant, and I was working at a golf course at the time, and then 9/11 hit, and then it was kind of
all the flights.
It kind of changed everything. And so I had an opportunity to go to Holland for a year, and I was an au pair. But while I was there, I was already 22, so I kind of was like halfway through. I found this love for designing, and I said to my mom, "We got to do something. We got to do something." And she would say, "No." She was managing Mary Nissen Winery at the time, and she said, "I'm good." My parents always had businesses their whole life, and she said, "No."
Never
and I said,
again.
"No, I promise. I'll take care of all the business end of it.
That's right.
And we'll design together."
And you did to this day. You've done that.
Yeah, and we'll design together, and I promise it'll be great.
You were Army for years.
I know. So I was ready to come home, right? Because I kind of knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I came home, and after the year, I stayed the year, and I went and enrolled at George Brown for fashion design, and I took a bunch of business courses.
Yeah.
And then right away, I graduated in June, and our first collection and our debut fashion show. And was it St. Andrews?
No. Addison Hall.
Oh, Addison Hall in Niagara-on-the-Lake. We had a wonderful opening fashion show.
I still can't
We had like
how
almost
we put that on.
200-300 people there, which
Honest
was
to
pretty
God.
amazing.
It was a blast.
It was great. So we had
nerve-wracking, but a blast.
Yeah. And ladies, I have to show you, because after Toronto, we bought a house in Grimsby.
Yeah.
And we're going to show some pictures here of our design studio, which is so funny.
Yeah.
We were renovating the house at the time.
It's an old farmhouse.
Or it was an old farmhouse built in 1880. So you could imagine everything was original. So we had to do everything. But we had drywall and we had insulation, and that was my cutting table. And we had our sewing machines set up in my living room. And I didn't have children then, so it was pretty easy to do. And that's where we created and designed.
We worked part-time in the beginning still at our job.
We did. I was waitressing 4 nights a week, and Lucia was still managing Mary Nissen Winery. And I remember she would bring patterns there, and on her lunch break, she would spread them out if the owners weren't there.
I would make patterns. Oh my goodness. On the tasting room table.
Oh, imagine the days, ladies.
But really, if you think about it, when you are a designer and you start a collection, you need an influx of money. This just doesn't happen.
No.
And you don't just sell right away.
I would say for
an
3
investment.
years of our business, all the money went back into the business.
Yes,
for
we
3
didn't
full
take a
years.
cent.
We took our bare minimum that we needed.
Exactly.
And I think it's so interesting how businesses work, ladies, as a lot of you probably know. It was tough, but we loved what we did, and we just kept going.
Let's not forget, we had very good friends who did home shows for us.
That's how we started.
That's how we started.
With the lines. We would set up in women's houses.
Yeah.
Have a charcuterie and some wine.
Yeah.
And then
They
we would
invited
sell.
their friends.
We would sell to those ladies.
Yeah. And then word of mouth.
And then we got into the shows. Everything was made by us at the time, cut and sewn. Then we had some home sewers because we got into the One of a Kind show.
So we needed
in Toronto.
stock.
Here's a picture of us at the first One of a Kind show, our booth set up.
Yeah.
And my dear friend Steffi that helped us along the way.
Yeah.
And at one point we were doing 18 shows a year across Canada.
Yeah.
And we would pack up our booth, set up our booth.
Yeah.
We loved it. It was a lot of work.
Oh, it
but
was a lot of work.
We loved it.
In the meantime, you had 2 children.
So when I was pregnant with Ruby, who's now 16, ladies, a lot of you know she was just still in my belly, right?
Yeah,
like a lot of ladies knew me then.
Yeah.
A lot of our customers. And we rented a space on James Street in St. Catharines, right across the street from the boot shop.
That's where Eileen came and shopped with us and her mom every Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We would go to the market and they would come by, and it was really nice.
Yeah. It was a lovely space. But challenges, ladies, as you can imagine. So we started selling in the store and doing the shows. And then we wanted to wholesale as well. But as you can imagine, these are 3 completely different businesses. A lot of collections we carry in our boutique now, they only wholesale. There's not a lot that do sort of all the multiples. So we learned quickly that it was tricky. Yeah. So we stopped the wholesale after a year, and we just focused on shows in the boutique. And then we were fortunate to find our location here on 280 Welland Avenue in St. Catharines and purchase the building, which was a big win for us.
That was huge.
Yeah, so we were so thankful for that.
Yeah.
And so right when we landed here in 2019, then COVID hit.
It was March. We had our spring, summer collection.
Fully stocked
Fully
boutique.
stocked, ready to go. And as you know, the
Door
door
shut.
closed. We had lovely Darcy, who was with us on James Street, and she came with us to Welland Avenue. And there we were, the three of us. For all of us, it was like an unbelievable event happening. So we had to pivot. We had to do something, hey?
Yeah.
First thing we did was starting to make masks. So.
And we gave out, I think, 400 free masks or something. I remember going to people at their cars and handing out masks. Ladies, we had polka dot cotton. We had the best, coolest masks you can imagine.
It's true.
I actually don't want to admit this out loud, but I still have a drawer. I have a plastic bag full of my favorite masks that we made.
Really? Oh my
Just
goodness.
in case, because I thought they were so comfortable.
They were.
We kind of tweaked them.
You could wash them, wear them.
Yeah. So I just want to touch on that with Darcy. Unfortunately, we had to lay her off, but she was like, I'm good. She went back to school into the healthcare.
Yeah.
And she has a great job now. So we're so thankful that she was.
That all worked out really well
because that was
she
tough.
was,
as a small business owner.
Big part of her.
She was with us for 7 years.
Yeah.
And so to let her down was really, but she was like, nope, I'm doing this.
She was really great. Yeah. And she's happy now. So that's good. And then all the shows stopped.
All the shows stopped. Everything stopped. And we asked, at the time, Lucia's granddaughter, Lucy, lived with her. She went to Brock for film and media. And we said, Lucy, why don't you film us? You know, we'll put out a video.
We'll talk about, you know, an outfit. A styling outfit.
Yeah. And we were already, thankfully, you know, a lot of people think we started online then, but we were actually online for 5 years already.
We had a great website.
Yeah,
which was really important.
Which was really important. So we were already established online. We did pivot, though, companies. At the time, we were with Lightspeed. And we pivoted to Shopify, which was really a game changer.
Yeah.
It's so interesting how that all works. That sort of part of the business end of it. But Shopify is a very user-friendly, easy, but that was interesting because we had to switch the whole store over to a new system.
God, Tessa.
And so my brother came and his daughter Lucy, and they helped me one day. We went through the whole store and switched it over in a day. And then I remember 3 months into COVID, I said, we are never going back to shows again.
Yeah.
And
I said, hallelujah. Oh my God.
We loved the shows, but can you imagine, ladies, packing up, traveling? I would go to Vancouver every year, Ottawa. We did 4 times a year. Toronto.
In a van with all the clothing rack poles sticking right out next to you. Oh my goodness.
It was something. It was something. But
anyway, no complaints.
No.
But I was so happy when we decided to sell all the show stuff, the booth, you know. And no more.
And no more.
No.
What was also really good is I was very diligent with emails.
Yes, you were. Oh my goodness.
From day one of our business.
She was the email police.
So I always said to ladies, keep in touch. And so when COVID hit, we had an email list of close to 2,000 women.
Whoever bought it, the show.
We would ask. Yeah. So we had that list, which was great.
Yeah.
So when we started our videos, we did really well.
We did really well. And also, as you remember, all of you lovelies were at home, stuck, nowhere to go. So the videos were an outlet. And we've heard, after COVID was done, we've heard so many women say to us, you pulled me through because I looked forward to your video. It was a little light point in the day.
And that was, I think, we can be proud of, is that in our videos, ladies, we still do them every day, but we really try to bring you into our life and see the whole process of everything. And it's not just, you know, selling. No. That's not our
it's a personal, it's become very personal.
It's become very personal. And a lot of you lovelies, you know, have really, really taken to it every morning with your coffee, and they can't wait to see what's new in our crazy lives.
Exactly.
And we are like best friends. We've been close always.
Always.
And with the videos, now we're reaching almost 1,000 women a day are watching our videos, which is amazing.
Plus, Lucia has graduated. She did her master's in Montreal, and she's found her spot. And we've hired Kristen, who has been a godsend, really.
Yeah,
I love Kristen.
She's amazing.
So easy to work with her.
So easy. And you must think, ladies, it's pretty intimate setting here. So we close the store on Tuesdays to film our videos.
Right.
And,
Mondays is at my house.
And then we do Lucia's house Mondays and sometimes Thursdays. And it's very intimate. So to have found such a great woman to work with has been
She feels like family.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an amazing team here.
How many people do we have working now? It's so amazing.
So we have Colleen and we have Sarah now, and Kate is on maternity leave, returning in June. So this will be the first time that Lousje Bean has had pretty much 4 full-time employees. Kristen's pretty much full-time almost.
Plus we have Desiree, who is our editor at large.
Yes, a woman from Toronto that we found. She came at Christmas. We had her at our Christmas.
First time we met her.
Yes, and it was so wonderful because we've only dealt with her virtually.
Yeah.
How times have changed.
I know.
And it's so wonderful.
And it's all clicking. And then we have, of course, a super sales lady of the year, Ruby.
And my daughter Ruby, who works part-time here too. So really we have all females. We have Sarah, Colleen, Kate, Ruby, Kristen, and Desiree. So we have 6 women ladies that are working with us to
keep it
moving.
Evolved.
Yeah. And Charlie, we can't forget Charlie here.
Charlie's a big part of
Lucia's gem.
Yeah. And a lot of you lovelies love him. Why not? How can you not love this hairy beast?
Just a little background if you don't know us from before this video. In our boutique here, we carry a lot of European, Canadian-made collections. We have our Lousje Bean line as well that we still create, and it's still cut and sewn here in Toronto. We have 2 manufacturers that we work with, so we're very big on Canadian-made.
Plus the fabric, the knit fabric is...
The knit fabric, we have a great relationship with a mill in Markham. Believe it or not, there's still some fabric being made here, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Our zippers, YKK, made in Montreal.
Right.
So we try to stay as Canadian as possible. Mm-hmm. This is also a very challenging pivot, ladies, which you can imagine, the tariffs that are just coming into place. We have an amazing line from USA, from San Francisco. It's called Cut Loose, if you're familiar with it.
A lot of you lovelies will be familiar with it. Yeah.
We've carried it for 8+ years, and they've been such a wonderful company to work with.
Yeah, family owned.
Cut and sew and dye all their garments in-house and then ship them to us. So we have had a very challenging time now to what do we decide to do?
What do we do?
Do we keep carrying it with the tariffs added to it? We've heard a lot of customers voicing that they're not going to support American made, which we totally, of course, it's such a difficult thing to decide now. So we're just, as doing this video, we're just in the stages of, do we order for next year or do we not? So these are the challenging for Canadian businesses.
For sure.
What's going to happen. So we just keep on carrying on and do what we love, and of course bring in as much Canadian as possible and European, which is a big influence from us.
Yeah, we buy what we would like to wear, right? I would say for 99%.
Yes, and fabrics are so important.
And fabrics are hugely important.
Yeah.
And also very difficult to find nice fabrics a lot of the time. So we do a lot of research and looking and being very critical, right?
Yeah.
And so fabrics, I think what our look is, we are not into busy patterns. It's your plain colors, it's your stripes, of course the dots, we love the dots. And there might be a pattern that tweaks our eye.
To us, yeah.
But it's not a store full of patterns.
And nor trends. We never look at what colors are coming up. We never look at what other designers are making. Honestly,
we've never gone that route.
No.
And I think that is our look, if that explains it. We always wear a scarf. Mostly.
Well, yeah. I don't have one today, but
we like our jewelry just so, right?
Yes, not too fancy.
Not too fancy,
but
not too
beautiful,
glitzy.
Simplistic.
Right.
We have some amazing lines in here. I'm wearing Anne-Marie Chaison, which is from
also a Montreal, Canadian
Canadian designer. But look how dainty those earrings are, right? Like I feel like this has a lot to it. So that you just put a little dainty earring, a little bracelet to match.
It's about balancing too, right?
Yeah.
Balancing it out.
So Anne-Marie Chaison, Lucia has on Seraglio here, made in Turkey. Very beautiful jewelry.
Cut loose little jacket. Love them.
Beautiful.
Beautiful color.
Yeah.
Polo tricot pants, love them. Made in Italy. Yeah, beautiful line.
Yeah.
And this scarf is from Crisas. Actually, it's the same fabric as your dress, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same color.
Same
They've
color.
dyed. It's a bit different. They're both
Oh, yeah.
linens, but this
Yeah.
is a bit of a textured linen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Grisas is a line from Lithuania. That's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Their fabrics are out of this world.
Yeah.
And,
also a beautiful company to work with. A lot of these companies are started by families, right?
Yeah.
And Crisas too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the beauty of it to me is they make their own fabric, they dye their own fabric,
Yeah.
and they cut the garment and design
Yeah.
it. So it's like, you know, it's so nice to support that, right?
Exactly.
It's not, you know,
Exactly.
offshore, and it's not.
No.
You know, you can't win them all, ladies. 90% of the boutique is all North American, European made.
And we are just very conscious about it. That's
We've never steered clear of that. We had
No.
opportunities, but we never steered clear.
That's right.
I have on our
Okay.
Lousje and Bean boxy top, which
Very
is a
staple.
staple. We make it in all different colors. It's beautiful
French terry.
French terry. It's the coziest sweater. You can also follow us on Instagram, ladies. We have lots of pictures we throw up in different reels, which are like little style videos. We have some fun with it. Right?
Yeah, we do.
There we go. That's our story. All right, ladies, we hope you enjoyed this video. There's so much history here. We hope you enjoyed all the pictures.
It's always nice to talk about our story. Right?
Absolutely.
We've done
It's
it
a
many
special
times,
story.
But it is a special story.
And we're just going to keep on keeping on, right, Mom?
Yeah, keep on keeping on.
And she's just going to keep on keeping on, too.
Of course.
She's not.
I'm loving it.
People
Why would
always
I
ask.
stop?
I know. We hope you enjoyed it. Please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can reach our content to more beautiful women like you.
And we always end with, keep on smiling.